All right, the time now is 5:05. I would like to officially start our meeting for tonight. Hello, everyone. My name is Ayabami Bell Torrance. I am the Outreach Manager for DDOT. Just want to thank you all for joining us tonight at our community input meeting, and we look forward to providing you new details tonight and hearing your comments. I would like to start now with our introductions, and I'm going to start with our Interim Executive Director, Mr. Staley.
Thank you, Ms. Torrance. Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Staley, and as Ms. Torrance said, I'm the Interim Executive Director at DDOT. With that, I'll turn it over to Melvin Barkley. Let me turn it over to Mr. Stewart.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anson Stewart. I'm the Assistant Director of Operations here at DDOT.
Okay, I'll just go unless you want to toss it to anyone. Go to Mr. Yamakura. I'm going to go as I see everyone, so in particular order.
Hi, I'm Ricky Yamakura. I'm the Capital Projects Manager here at DDOT.
Ms. Miller.
Hi, I'm Alicia Miller, DDOT's Compliance Manager.
Mr. Cardone. Oh, I believe you may be muted. Is anyone else hearing, or is it on?
No, I don't hear him either.
No,
Okay,
I can't hear him.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. We'll come back to you. Mr. Joy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Gio Joy, Maintenance Manager at DDOT.
Mr. Patrick. Now you are muted. I do see that you.
Steve Patrick, Executive Manager, Service Development and Scheduling at DDOT. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Taylor.
Good afternoon, everyone. My apologies. I'm having some technical issues and my camera is not working. But my name is Deasia Taylor, and I'm the Assistant Director of Administration for DDOT.
Thank you. And I see Ms. Roby.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tanisha Roby. I am Manager 1 of Eligibility for DDOT Paratransit.
I'm trying to see if I'm missing. Am I missing anyone that's on this screen? I know everyone didn't have their cameras on. Okay, with that, I know we got Lieutenant, is that Lieutenant Hart, I see?
Yes, ma'am. Deputy Chief Hart with Detroit Transit Police. I'm sorry, I was having camera issues too.
No problem. Okay, let me introduce our marketing as well. Kyle.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kyle Jordan. I'm part of the marketing team.
And Kristen.
And I am Kristen Lukowski, and I'm also part of the marketing team.
Awesome. Now, last month, we shared that our outgoing executive director, Mr. Michael Oglesby, will be joining us tonight, and you may see him on the screen there. He'll be joining us for some final words. So with that, I want to turn it over to him.
Okay, fantastic. Can you hear me?
We do.
Okay, I don't like that final word thing.
Well, farewell, I'm sorry.
I mean, you know, what is that? I see DC Hart broke his camera again. We're gonna have to work on that. You gotta stop looking directly into the screen. That may help. All right, everybody. Well, it's a bittersweet that I am leaving, but I just wanted to get on to say thank you to everybody. Not only just all of the people, advocates, riders that call in and voice their opinions, because without those opinions, you know, we would not be able to do what we've done this far. But also the employees, our employees here. I mean, as I look at the screen, with the exception maybe of one or two, everybody was either hired or by me and or promoted by me during this period of time. So I think that tells a lot that we have a great foundation, and I wish you all luck moving forward. Now, some people may say, well, there has been a question, why are you going? When I first came here, I promised the city that I'd stay for 3 years. The person who hired me actually stayed for 3 years and left. And I made that promise, and I stayed 3.5 years. At the end of this month will be 3.5. So I made that promise and gave my notice 3 months ago to give the city and the mayor an opportunity to put somebody in place. One of the things that I'm proud about is that I not only assisted in bringing a lot of people on board, I was one of the people that insisted in bringing Mr. Staley on board from the paratransit side of the house. So I think the foundation is great moving forward. There's been many successes. There was a need for change when I first got here. And there were some changes that took place naturally and some things that needed to take place. But arriving during a pandemic was a challenge. I had issues that have been here before my arrival, organizational structure issues, matching the budget, lack of job descriptions, some mismanagement in some areas like maintenance, furloughs, and work share, which really did a number on DDOT during the pandemic. I mean, there were some people that were given 4 hours a week, and they were in important jobs like road supervisors, dispatchers, superintendents, and 50% of the maintenance staff wasn't even coming in. And then we had a lack of resources for the transit police. So coming in to where it was then versus where DDOT is now, because of you, is further along now. Is it perfect? No, it's not. There's so much need that is here. It's 15 years of some issues that I believe during my tenure we chipped away at, and we've laid the foundation for the future. But moving forward with the form of DDOT Reimagined and/or a comprehensive operational analysis to really take a good hard look at what's needed here in the city. Now, whether moving forward the funding will be there for all of it, whether all of it will be executed, wasn't really my concern. My concern was to make sure that the people had a voice and it was documented. And that's exactly what that did. The good news is that a majority of the findings from DDOT Reimagined move into bus rapid transit, moves into shelters. And it seems like going through the ARPA funding, it's a repetitive request. People just want more buses. People want more service. And in order to do that, you need more resources. And we all know that from a wage standpoint, it's been a challenge, but it's been moving up lately. Stepped into a situation where the budget was pretty steady as far as the layout, but what was needed was changed. We created efficient, reliable operations. We brought paratransit in-house, which you've heard over and over again, but creating that new structure was a challenge. It was 11 months going back and forth, not only with the public, but with city council to create a structure that worked, and then to lay that structure out, get it funded, and then put the people in that structure, one being the top person to run it in order to pull it and move it through to fruition. But that was a major challenge to do that and to remove the previous provider. We've done reorganizations over the years. Many of those resulted in the organizational chart that we have today. We didn't, when I got here, there was an organizational chart, but it did not match the budget and or actuals. So therefore, we really didn't have a chart. We created the first transit agency safety plan. We created de-escalation training for the operators because the operators were really upset with many things. A lot of it COVID related, but a lot of it was their view of the behavior of the riders. So we focused on both the riders and the drivers. We advanced budget operator training. It goes on and on. I could get into ARPA funds where you, the people, said we need bus stops, we need transit connection hubs, we need recruitment and retraining, we need bus stop seating. Rosa Parks needs to be advanced. We need onboard safety like filters. I'm proud to say that every single thing on that list is moving forward. At this point, during my departure, Everything has been put in motion and in place. The new State Fair Center, let's not even start there. When I first got here, it was my first week. And I was on with every organization, convincing them that we would be able to develop a State Fair Center. And we did. We developed it from scratch, right from the bottom with the DBA. Coolidge Bus Terminal. That was actually developed, truly developed in 2020. Had been talked about and there were renderings, but to sit down and actually match it to funding to actually build something that could be built is where we are today. And that started again in 2020. Fleet management replacement, zero bus emission. You all know we brought the electric buses in. There's an opportunity, future electric buses. New camera system is moving along. So I know we have a very long meeting. I'm very familiar with them. And I know that staff is going to handle that meeting well. I just wanted to come in closing to say I want to thank you all, especially the staff that supported our journey and the writers who believed in the vision that we all came up with. It's a long way to go, but if you follow the roadmap that's put in place, I think everything will be just fine. Put the added resources in Detroit, we'll see a drastic change in public transportation instantly. The blueprint is there. So I want to thank you all. And for those who have been trying to ask me how to get in touch with me, they can send me an email at moglesbytransit@gmail.com. Again, moglesbytransit@gmail.com. And I thank you all. And I wish you all good luck. And Mr. Staley, I wish you a good one, my friend. You've got the base to move forward, and I have faith that you'll be able to do a great job.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oglesby. We appreciate that. And I do want everyone to know as well, for those who are not aware, there will be a next chapter party taking place for Mr. Oglesby next week. That's happening Thursday, October 26th. Everyone is invited to attend. It's happening at the Del Mar, that's located at 501 Monroe. You can feel free to stop by anytime between 5:30 and 8:30. And for those who, if you don't have the flyer, I know some were posted online. I know Mr. Cunningham had posted. We'll try to have that at the end as well for those who may have missed it, would like more information. All right, and with that, I would like to transition into our meeting, starting with our meeting rules. Following our presentation, you will have the opportunity to comment. Now, everyone is allowed 2 minutes. We'll announce when the time is up, and you will be muted. So please respect that time so that everyone has an opportunity to speak, and so that we also have an opportunity to respond. Now, as always, no personal attacks or foul language will be tolerated. That's verbally or in the chat. And please limit the chat to providing comments or questions related to this meeting, and that will be open during the public comments period. I also have a few reminders. By participating in the Zoom meeting, you are granting permission for your name, your image, your likeness, as well as audio and video recordings to be used by DDOT. Now, to request to speak, you can simply use the raise hand feature. And if you are using the dial-in only phone option, you can enter *9 to serve as that raise hand feature to request to speak or ask a question. To submit questions or comments to DDOT staff, again, you'll be able to use the chat during the appropriate time. Before asking a question or commenting, be sure to mute your audio. Please state your name and any applicable organization that you represent. And following your comments, please mute your audio. I am happy to start off the meeting tonight with great news. Your feedback are changes. So thanks to your feedback on reporting shelters that need our attention, you can now report those issues like cleaning, broken glass, and missing or broken benches using the city's improved Detroit app. It is live now, so you can test it as soon as possible if you haven't seen it pop up already. If you don't have the app already, you can download it from the Apple Store or Google Play. And to make a new request, you can simply click on the plus sign at the bottom of the screen once you have that app. Now I'm going to give you a brief overview on how to use it. Again, this is just something brief to give you an idea of what to expect. You can find the new category once you click to make a new request. You will also have the option to submit a picture. And once you confirm your location, you will be able to scroll to the City of Detroit section, and there you can select bus shelter issues. And we have two images on your screen, how it would look from your iPhone to Android, and you should see the bus shelter issues option. And from there, once you click on the bus shelter issues, you will be able to make your selections. And we encourage you to provide as much detailed information as possible in the description area, especially if you are unable to submit a picture. Now, your submissions can be as a guest or registered user, and once you submit your request, our team will be notified. As a reminder, now the replacement shelter program is still in the early phases as we are developing site plans for the next round of installations to be completed next year. Now, locations for new and replacement shelters are selected and prioritized based on DDOT's Title VI program plan, which incorporates service standards for bus stop amenities. Now, it is necessary for us to prioritize shelters in locations that have many customer boardings and service transfer points, have a concentration of vulnerable users, or otherwise meet DDOT's criteria for shelter replacement. Also new to report, new service changes are expected ahead in January. Now, this includes schedule changes in support of a bus rapid transit BRT service pilot on the 9 Jefferson. Daytime frequency will be increased to every 10 minutes on weekdays, and every 15 minutes on weekends. Now, capital projects to provide BRT elements and features on Jefferson will follow later in 2024. Also, with the service changes in January, the Route 16 Dexter restored daytime frequency to every 20 minutes on weekdays, and Route 18 Finkel will begin 45 minutes frequency at the start of the weekday service instead of after 8 a.m. And we're also planning to add peak period supplemental trips on several routes, including 3 Grand River, 7 7 Mile, 13 Connor, 15 Chicago Davidson, 19 Fort, 27 Joy, 60 Evergreen, 67 Cadillac Harper. Now, I know these are a lot of changes that I'm announcing right now. A virtual public hearing to discuss these proposed changes will take place in lieu of our next community input meeting. That's next month in November. So stay tuned for more information, but we'll have a public hearing dedicated to this. State Fair Transit Center. I know this has been a hot topic, and we have an update for you when it comes to construction tonight. The site's underground infrastructure is installed along with electric, plumbing, and gas service completed. The large bus openings on the north and south end are constructed. The focus now is on the exterior of the building, concrete pavement, and asphalt. And the goal is to have all the exterior hardscapes installed before winter. Air quality monitoring is taking place throughout all construction phases. Now, the historical murals and fairground images were documented with plans to incorporate throughout the new transit center. The plan is to open to the public hopefully in April 2024. To learn more about the State Fair Transit Center at detroitmi.gov/DDOT State Fair, we'll be having more details on there soon. Moving now to Coolidge, another one that we've been waiting to give you the update. Please know that we are working toward demolition happening in the coming weeks, so that's great news. Currently, abatement, site prep, air monitoring, and equipment placement is happening on site. And again, to learn more about the Coolidge Terminal Replacement Project, you can visit detroitmi.gov/Coolidge, and we'll be adding new details there as well. From my DDOT safety, they issued a statement tonight, letting you know, and I will read that. In our attempts to proactively address safety concerns, we invite and welcome the community's input. Feel free to contact us anytime to help us with overcoming safety hazards. And if you weren't aware that we do have a new chief safety officer, his name is Corey Holmes. And our DDOT new safety manager is Ms. Gabby Honey. And those numbers are on the screen, and I'm sure they will probably put them in the chat later as well if needed. From Transit Police, in response to your comments last month about safety, please note that our transit police officers are issuing tickets for both driving and parking violations. So we hear you and we are responding. DDOT, of course, is still hiring, so continue to help us spread the word. The good news is DDOT currently has 50 students right now in training. 26 students are training behind the wheel. 24 students are driving in revenue service. 16 students were badged in September. Our next class will begin Monday, October 23rd. And to give you the latest on our TEO status, DDOT currently has 350 active operators, 28 inactive operators, and 107 operators were badged this year. DDOT is hiring non-driving positions. So for more information about DDOT employment opportunities, please visit detroitmi.gov/DDOT. DDOT is an equal opportunity employer. Moving now to our monthly performance report from paratransit for September. I'm going to start with Big Star. There's one preventable accident and one non-preventable accident, 2 injuries reported. When it comes to reliable service, on-time performance, 99% weekday, 99% Sunday, 99% Saturday, and 99% total. Customer-oriented service, out of 8,409 trips, 5 complaints and 4 were valid and 1 was deemed invalid. Moving to Checker, no accidents, but there was 1 reported injury. 99, moving to reliable service, on-time performance, 99% weekday, 98% Sunday, 98% Saturday, 99% total. And out of 2,517 trips, 1 complaint when it was deemed valid. For Delray, again, no accidents, but there was 1 reported injury. 99% weekday when it comes to on-time performance, 97% Sunday, 97% Saturday, and 98% total. Out of 4,235 trips, 3 complaints and all 3 were valid. Moving to Mo, 0 preventable accidents and 1 non-preventable. 99% weekday, 98% Sunday, 98% Saturday, and 99% totals. Those were your on-time performance information. Moving to customer service oriented service, out of 3,812 trips, no complaints. That's great news. For PECs, no accidents reported, no injuries. 99% weekday, 98% Sunday, 98% Saturday, and 99% total. And that was your on-time performance numbers. And out of 4,068 trips, 1 complaint taken and 1 was deemed valid. For DDOT, 4 complaints were taken, 12 valid and 2 invalid. And for our system total, there was 1 preventable accident, 2 non-preventable, and 4 reported injuries. When it came to on-time performance totals, 99% weekday, 98% Sunday, 98% Saturday, and 99% total. Out of 23,041 trips, 24 complaints were taken, 21 were valid, and 3 were invalid. And for the cost-effective service, 23,041 trips, again, per 15,193.44 hours. 1.45 weekday, 1.33 Sunday, 1.20 Saturday, and 1.41 is our total. From there, let's go to our operations performance dashboard. And the latest we have for that is August. And our ridership is 975,579. The on-time performance weekdays is 64%. The average weekday pull-out AM, 92%, and the average weekday pull-out for PM was at 91%. And I do want to point out that both the operations performance dashboard and the paratransit information is available on our website. I also want to share some great news about seeing DDOT out in the community. We've attended the Eastside Climate Action Coalition's Transportation Fair and Conservation event. Now that took place last week. That's Wednesday, October 11th. And also attended the Detroit Police Department's All Abilities Fair. And that happened just yesterday, Wednesday, October 18th. And a representative paratransit will be attending the National Federation of the Blind, NFB, Michigan State Convention next month. Another example of you asked and we answered. You asked if we could make DDOT more prominent on our meeting flyers. Most specifically, shout out to Mr. Cunningham. And as you see, we took that into action right away. We implemented those changes for this month's meeting. So just note, please know that we value everyone's feedback and we will continue to make changes and improvements when possible. DDOT, Halloween in the D. The city of Detroit is hosting its annual Halloween in the D. It's family-friendly celebrations this year. The events take place across the city at police stations, police precincts, recreation centers, and fire stations. And DDOT is once again participating, and we invite you to check out our haunted bus and our treats that we'll be passing out. We'll be at the Fire Engine House 30 that's located 16543 Myers Road. So for those who participate, we would love to see you there. Upcoming events, as mentioned earlier in the presentation, the virtual public hearing for the January service changes will take place Thursday, November 16th. Same time as this meeting, 5 p.m. So again, more notices will be provided soon, so stay tuned. The local advisory council meeting, Thursday, November 21st, that's happening at 10 a.m. And the next virtual community input meeting will be Thursday, January 18th at 5. And no, that's not a typo. As you know, as in past, we will be off for December. That is all the updates I have at this time. As you know, that was kind of a long one, so excuse me between there. We encourage you to make sure you follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ride DDOT. And of course, there's information on our website, detroitmi.gov/DDOT. I'm going to turn it now over to my colleague, Kristen. Excuse me as I clear my throat. And just give me a moment to set up our timer.
Test.
Okay, Kristen, we're ready.
Okay, we're ready. Okay, excellent. First hand up I see is Jalen Kemp.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jalen Kemp, and I received a flyer from Mr. Cunningham. On my behalf, I would like for buses to make more progress in moving buses on time and its schedule. My concerns are the Livernois bus I rarely see, and the McNichols bus going towards 6 Mile is kind of slow behind. I ran into a couple. But yeah, most of the buses run kind of slow, and I would like to see more buses run on schedule because I get up and work every day, and I have 2 kids, so it's kind of hard for me to make it to work and try to drop my kids off at certain places on time, and that is it's like a hard time for me, and it's getting cold out. And I know a lot of people with children, other people might be going through the same thing and have concerns as well that can't speak. So I was just putting my behalf on there. And, that is only my concern right now at the moment.
And if I can just say something at the outset, because I'm going to assume that we're going to get a number of those comments, and certainly understand that service reliability for people that rely upon public transportation is critical. As has been mentioned before, and we will continue to provide updates on that. We are in the process of hiring more and more bus operators. Our ability to pull out every day is the starting point for service reliability. As was mentioned in the presentation, we currently have 50 students, 23 of whom will be graduating either in the first or second week of November. The September 25th class is scheduled to graduate on the 8th of December, and we will be starting another class on Monday, the 23rd of October. We concluded we had the first day of the onboarding for those individuals who will be students in that next class today. We'll continue that tomorrow, and our expectation is that we're going to have more than 50 students in that 1023 class, and they should be able to enter service in late December, early January. And then we have one more class after that scheduled on 11/20/2023. So HR has been doing a really good job of finding applicants, conducting interviews, conducting the background checks and other screens that are required, and then onboarding people. So again, the emphasis, the push is on increasing the driver headcount. The larger number that we can get behind the wheel, the more reliable the service will become. As was also stated in the presentation, 378 drivers. That's out of a requirement of 510. 350 of them are active, 28 are inactive. So you can see that we still have a ways to go.
I have a question for Jalen. I'd like to know what you mean when you say the buses are running slow. Do you mean that they're driving slow, or do you mean that they're not showing up when you expect them to show up in the schedule?
Yeah, they're not showing up. Like it goes both ways. Sometimes they don't show up on their schedule, or sometimes they're driving slow. But most of the time, I see like one side of the bus of the street goes by like 5 times, and then on the other side of the street, you only see one bus like normally like almost an hour going past.
And what's your route that you take the most often?
Can you say that again?
What route do you take the most often? Like Grand River, Dexter?
I most likely take a lot of them, but the main ones I have problem with is the liver noise. I normally see the Dexter running fast, 7 Mile bus run on time. Most of them is like, they don't run as much as the other ones do.
Yeah, the liver noise only scheduled once an hour, but it's we're trying to, as Mr. Staley mentioned, we're trying to make the service work better, but sometimes you might think the bus is running an hour late, but it's really because one bus is missing because of lack of a driver, so you're really catching the following bus in the schedule. So,
okay.
Or like on Dexter, it might be 20 minutes later, or 40 minutes later.
Okay.
Yeah. So, as you mentioned, we do have a shortage of drivers right now that we're working to address.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. The next hand up is Robert.
Good evening. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Awesome. Perfect. Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Pulowski. I'm the Vice Chair for the Regional Transit Authority Citizens Advisory Committee, and I'm calling in from Southgate from Wayne County. So, from the updates, it kind of just changed my comment all over again this evening. One of the things is the service changes that go for a lot of key routes, but also main frequent lines. The proposed BRT bus rapid transit for Jefferson is not just needed, but also one of the busiest corridors that us as advocates have voiced over the years. So I'm really happy to see that. And also finally, the frequency changes on most of the routes in the system, especially my main 119 Fort, which has been basically either shows up or is late sometimes. And matter of fact, most routes, especially the 30 that the last caller mentioned, that's another route that has major issues as well. Third thing, State Fairgrounds. We finally have a date for it to open. I have advocated for the State Fairgrounds since we broke ground on it. And I am just happy to see the progress going on in Northwest Detroit, seeing this big, beautiful building it took a lot of time and effort to get it approved, but we officially have a new transit center that will not just change Detroit, it will emphasize the need for transportation all across our region. Lastly, I'd like to thank Mr. Oglesby for his service. It has been an honor to work with you over the last couple of years since I've been an advocate, and I am just excited to see the progress that you have accomplished here at this system. And Mr. Staley, I look forward to working with you as you progress what Mr. Oglesby has left for you. You will do amazing things, and I know Mr. Oglesby has said the same thing, but I wish you the very best, Mr. Oglesby, and what you do in your next path, whatever transit agency you go to. Us as advocates, we will not forget the work you have done for the system, and we are gratefully thankful. Thank you for your time and look forward to speaking with you guys next month. Thank you.
Thanks, Robert. Mr. Cunningham, you're the next hand up.
Greetings, everyone on the sound of my voice. Thank you, comrades and fellow activists and etc. This first question is for Ms. Iobami. For Ms. Iobami, is there any government officials or staffs that you can see, and how many people are in the meeting? This video or each video from these sessions should be put on Channel 10, the city TV. I know it might be put on YouTube, but again, I think once a month it should be put on Channel 10. I don't know if anybody, the powers that be, can do something about that, but I'd appreciate it. Also, the idea of the flyers or the employee bonus referral, so drivers can get money for a driver coming and staying. I would like to see that flyer and maybe the details of it, just being nosy. I asked at the last meeting and Mr. Staley said that he was going to do that, but that never came to fruition. Everyone has my email and the phone number is 313-444-9114. You can't forget that. What else? All righty. And also, a lot of people don't know the complaint line number for paratransit. And there's an after hours voicemail line for them and for DDOT. There's an after hours voicemail system. So you don't have to just hold on to a complaint from Friday to Monday. As soon as that thing happens, fresh on your mind, you can put in a complaint or compliment or suggestion. I want to thank Ms. Iobami for making changes and everyone, Kristen, everyone responsible for putting DDOT on that flyer. People just kept saying, what is this? They thought it was just a community meeting, but putting DDOT on the flyer lets them know it is about the bus system. And I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so far. And Mr. Oglesby, my prayers are with you and good luck.
Real quickly, if I can make a comment, and then I'm going to toss it over to Ms. Roby so she can give out that telephone number. I'm a little bit sorry that Mr. Cunningham feels that I didn't adequately communicate any information on the driver attendance bonus. I know that I've been in at least 3 community meetings.
No, not the driver attendance, the referral. Like if they get another employee.
Okay, no, point taken. I will take action on that. I'm sorry, I thought you meant the incentive bonus. Ms. Roby, can you give out the complaint line number for paratransit and let folks know the hours of operation?
Absolutely. So DDOT Paratransit takes complaints through our customer care line on the phone. It's called the other inquiries line, but it is open with a live person, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And if you do have an issue, because paratransit is 24-hour service, 365 days a year, if you do have a complaint about something that's going on after the 4 o'clock time has passed, we do have an after hours voicemail box that is open after hours during the week and then on the weekend as well. So that phone number is area code 313-774-5555. And the other increased customer care option would be option number 4. I can also add that information to the chat.
Okay, I think we got everything. Thank you, Mr. Cunningham.
How many people are in the meeting?
Kristen, yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna say, I knew it
sorry.
was coming. We, on the.
Let's see,
attendance
44
time is
attendees
44.
and 16 panelists are what I can see.
Yeah, I see 44. I don't necessarily see the public officials, but as usual, they can put their information in the chat if they are present.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ms. Stewart, you're the next hand up.
Good evening, Director Staley, Albami, and Christian, and all the other staffers. I want to say thank you for upping, the frequency for routes that you're doing, putting some extra supplemental in there during the peak hours and stuff. Because, people have been complaining about them kids getting home late from school and it's getting dark out there. Yeah, people out here is going to be cold. So adding some on those lines is good. And hopefully it'll help a lot. I want to thank you, Director Staley, for meeting with us, conversing with us, and listening to our complaints and our concerns and everything else. And I look forward to keep on having a conversation with you. I want to say thank you to Director Oglesby for his tender here. Hope he has a pleasant journey to wherever he's going next. And he will succeed, and thank him for putting in place the things that he have put in place that hopefully it'll come into premonition. The new bus is coming up the first of the year. DDOT Reimagine as it goes into place in its different sections. I'm thankful for the new bus terminal that's going to be back over on Schaefer. That's a blessing. It's been out for a long time, and we really needed that station, that terminal back. I'm gonna let it go on and go. Thank you for everybody that helped Mr. Oglesby while he was here, and I hope to continue to work with all of y'all in the future. I thank you all for your service, and you all have a pleasant and good evening.
Thank you. Renard, you're the next hand up.
Hey, good evening. Can I be heard?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Renard Mashusky. I'm an organizer with the Detroit People's Platform, and also wanted to give my thanks and appreciation to the Director Oglesby in putting the foundation for the improvements to DDOT, especially with the DDOT Reimagine. And it is my demand to the incoming leadership that they would continue to operationalize this plan, build upon it with the actual timeline and funding attached to it as well, or else everything will risk losing all the good aspects of this plan. I mean, we're going to have extensions in nighttime and weekend service, the neighborhood routes, which are suffering the most, which the one gentleman is called about his route being slow. He's impacted by that, right? So we need to support the DDOT Reimagine with funding from City Council and with a timeline as well. I'm getting a lot of comments about this and saying like this plan isn't going to work out because there's no timeline or it's too premature to be talking about things like that sort. But I don't think so. I think it's time to be talking about it now and supporting this plan and how it's going to improve our neighborhoods, and also speak against some of the proposals where they cut the lines. So when is the city council going to hear about this plan? And will there be another outreach sort of round to the public about this DDOT reimagined? The other thing as well too, I am very happy about the improvements that are going to be happening in January, especially with the Jefferson. I hope that Grand River are part of those changes because I get personally a lot of complaints that Grand River gets really slow at nighttime. So nighttime service and weekend service needs to be more frequent. And I'm 100% behind this DDOT reimagined plan because our neighborhoods, not just the main corridors, not just the areas to the suburbs, but the actual Detroit neighborhoods need better service too. And again, I want to thank Mr. Oglesby for his work, and I pray his endeavors in this next field are successful and continue to do well. Thank you.
Real quickly, one thing I think we should probably do based on the last comment is we'll do an update on DDOT Reimagined at the January community input meeting. That'll give us some time to assess where we are right now and try to flesh out the next steps a little bit more comprehensively.
Great, thank you. Stephen Boyle, you're the next hand up.
Hi, I've been assembling a few notes here. First, it's great to see the shelter option as a new report option on Improve Detroit. That's awesome. One thing I've been asking also for is a missing sign option. So as DDOT signs get torn down by drivers plowing them over, we can actually get those signs replaced because sometimes our new drivers, the operators, as they're going down the route, they don't see a sign, so therefore the riders sometimes miss their stop because the rider's like, well, that's not a stop until they see a sign. And if they have onboard navigation, I think that each of the stops is indicated on the navigation, but the navigation and the signs on the side of the road need to actually be in sync with each other if we can do that. The State Fair Transit Center, can we get artwork display of historical photos so that people know what the State Fairgrounds was about? Can we possibly have a mural project on the outside and use a team of local artists in creating such? On the flyers for meetings and DDOT promotional information, asking for input from the public, can we start making sure that mobile phones are being used in the flyer graphics and not just laptops? Because sometimes people think that a laptop is what you're going to need to use to get in a meeting. Regarding operators, they need to, and the public need to have more public bathroom access along the routes needed. So we need to get some more corporate company member sponsorship, and they have to understand the need that people have of getting a bathroom where they need to. I heard that downtown Detroit has got a real need for that. Recommend recruiting flyers at Detroit Works, recreation centers, college student centers, and libraries. And I think that's it. Thank you.
If I can just comment on a couple of things. One is, Ms. Torrance or Ms. Lukowski, getting that bus stop sign added to the list of options for reporting on issues with DDOT.
Yep, I can say that as issues come in, we can certainly add categories if something proves to be popular. That's something that's very much in flux.
If the onboard system that are using allows them to report that a sign is missing as they're passing it, would be really a great way for the operator to create that improvement.
Okay.
Second thing, and I would refer this to Mr. Yamakura, the historical photos, I saw that they had been documented and whatever the case might be. Can we provide pictures of those so that individuals can see what's been preserved?
We can. And on top of that, I'm taking notes on the mural idea, and we're going to pass it along to the working group as well.
I'm
Okay,
not.
perfect. And just two other comments I'd make real quickly. Number one, the mayor has asked DDOT to indicate any businesses that have expressed some reluctance in providing facilities for drivers, particularly at the end of the route. And then the city will see if they can exercise any additional influence with those commercial enterprises. And then the last thing is we've been utilizing just about every resource that's available in order to do outreach, to attract applicants for DDOT driving positions, including Detroit Works. So we've been actively engaged with them in seeing if they have any individuals that have an interest in being a professional bus operator.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. The next hand up is a number ending in 493.
Hi, yeah, this is Patty Fedewa, and I just want to make a statement. My interpretation of what the mayor said, he seemed to think that by the beginning of January, our driver shortage is going to be over. So I'm looking forward to that. So that way we'll have pre-COVID levels of service. But my big question, I don't buy that, but I'm just going to go with what he said. He acts like the problem's over. My big question, though, is what happened because we had less than, service that we had budgeted for and fewer drivers? What happened to the rest of the money that DDOT had at the end of the year? And who do I talk to find out more about that? Thank you. And thanks, Mr. Oglesby.
If I can speak to the driver deficit and the comments made by the mayor, I've been in innumerable community meetings with him, and what he's publicly stated is he's asked DDOT to increase the number of average pullouts to 150 by January, to 175 by the middle of the summer, and to 200 by this time next year. At no point in time did I hear him say that the driver deficit was over and that the system would be fully restored to pre-COVID levels. And trust me, at DDOT and with HR, we will continue to attempt to put at least 40 students in every one of our classes, which happens approximately about every 5 weeks. And again, we've been given a clear directive from the mayor, 150 average pullouts weekday by January, 175 in the second quarter of 2024, and 200 by this time next year.
Great, thank you, Patty. Miss Marguerite, you're next.
Yes, thank you. I am putting everything in the chat box. In the chat box.
Were they all answered? I saw some responses. Were they all answered? Or are you?
No.
Not yet? Okay.
I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Miss Marguerite, do you want us to come back to you?
I believe she's saying that she's not done yet. She's going to continue.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's come back.
You.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay, great. I'm going to leave your hand up, and let's go to the phone number ending in 802.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
go ahead.
Okay. Yes, my name is Lisa. I just have a quick comment and one question. My comment and question are for Mr. Oglesby. I did not know that you would be leaving DDOT until I read on Facebook, and I just learned how to pronounce your last name. Also, when the pandemic started in 2020, I noticed during the virtual Zoom meetings, you were very patient to listen to all the comments from Detroit residents regarding bus service. You have made a lot of improvements, and that is a plus. A lot of positive projects were started by you, and I thank you. Hopefully, service will continue to improve under new management and not revert back to the old DDOT or old 1971, 1972 DSR bus service. Now, my question for Mr. Oglesby is, Council President Mary Sheffield has announced she is interested in running for mayor of Detroit in the year 2025. Would you be interested in working with her as deputy mayor in the year 2025? Thank you so much. That's it.
I think we can call our next
Okay.
person.
Okay. Mr. Verse, yours is the next hand up.
Of course, I'm presuming, may I be heard?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'd like to say thank you for this opportunity to be heard. And most of the comments and things that I wanted to ask about have been answered, most of them. I'd like to give my thank you to Director Oglesby and Harding and to Interim Director based on my personal interactions with him. I think his sincerity can be taken for granted at this point, and know that, well, at least most advocates will support you as long as you stay on the road. Also, I have a question that seems totally, if you will, asinine to most people, but I'm going to ask. In the flyer that went out for the celebration of Director Oglesby's departure, he has on a tie, which he does not usually wear most of the times that I see, even though he has on a suit coat. Now, my question is, does that mean this is a dress-up affair, or can I come in my everyday attire?
You can come as you are.
And my other comment is, I'd like to thank the transportation police because they have been actually issuing tickets, even in my neighborhood, because I have a serious problem around the corner at Grand River in Wyoming, where there are buses going east towards downtown. There's a beauty school and people have a tendency to park there, and they've started to keeping that clear. Okay. No other comments at this time. Thank you. I'll save my questions for a later date.
Thank you, Mr. Verse. Always good to hear from you. The next hand up is Lawrence.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is doing good. I am calling in regards to hopefully support and maybe some direction. I'm representing an organization called the Sunday Best Crew. Some of you might have seen us on Channel 4 or Channel 7 and the work that we do directly adjacent from the Rosa Parks Transit Center. We pass out home-cooked meals to the unsheltered and the hungry. Doesn't matter what the status is. And most of the people that we're servicing are the people that are getting on the bus or using the transit center. And my question is, in helping out last Sunday, I noticed that we are in the open elements, and I wanted to see who I can talk to about getting in an area closer to the transit center that would not invade the space of the transit center, but will provide us shelter from the rain and the upcoming snow. As a nonprofit organization who's serving the needs of the of the community with no cost associated to anyone, we're just doing this out of our pockets. We wanted to see if DDOT could help point us in a direction to help serve those that are in need, that are basically out there in that area. It's a prime area for them. And as an organization that's trying to serve the community, we want to be as invisible as possible. That way we are not invasive, but we also are requesting if you guys could help us. It wouldn't cost you anything, but see what we can do to get up underneath the awning when the weather starts to shift. That's it.
Ms. Torrance, can you reach out to the caller so that you can have a conversation? We can find out some more details, so then we can figure out who it is that we need to be talking to internally, and what possibilities might be available as the weather turns more inclement.
Yes, absolutely. If you're not comfortable putting your information in the chat, just as far as your email, you can also email DDOT comments and I'll receive it from there and for your contact information.
Okay, I'll put my contact information in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Ayobami, you were going to read.
Yes, you ready for me? Miss Marguerite asked me to read her latest comment. She said the Belle Isle route, all the drivers are pulling in close to the curb when asked. So that sounds like a positive note to me. So please read that message.
I believe that's progress.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Marguerite, for sharing. And it was great seeing you yesterday.
Yes, yes. Mm. Please read the others.
Okay, and the other one, going backwards, give me one moment. Okay, you said, thank you, Michael, for all your ideas on, what's it, Amazon? I'm not sure, EMAZ, Amazon was a big help.
Reimagine.
Oh, thank you. DDOT Reimagined, yes, that makes sense.
Thank you.
And then I know that you asked about the date of State Fair opening, and we did get a response on there that we're hoping for opening in late spring of 2024. That's why we mentioned that April, May of 2024 is the current plan.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Tyrese is the next hand up.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, hey to everyone. I hope everybody's day is going great and blessed. I wanted to speak about the bus route of the Grand River. That's really the only bus I was taking. I was taking that for about a month, but I was working at MGM Grand Casino. That bus failed me. I lost my job because I couldn't get to work on time. Even catching the bus an hour early wasn't working. I could watch 4 buses going the opposite way and I'd still be waiting for hours for the bus to come pick me up to take me to work. And my job didn't want to hear anything about me standing outside waiting on the bus. They wanted me to be there on time. I wanted to know exactly what are you guys actually doing to make it where the Grand River actually be more accurate on picking up anybody and getting people to the places that they need to be.
Hey, sir, can you tell us what time you had to be at work on what days of the week?
Monday through Friday, it was a 9 p.m. to 4. I was always catching a bus from 7:30 to 8 o'clock.
Okay, and, okay, so you, that was your shift, 9 PM to 4. And
Yes.
so, yeah, this seems like it's about the driver shortage. That's what it seems like. And where do you get on the bus?
I would be getting on Grand River in Illinois, right by the McDonald's in the gas station.
Yeah. Okay.
And what kind of frequency, Steve, does that have that time of the day?
Well, it's on weekdays. We you know, of course, in the daytime we're at 20 minutes, and then the service fades out to 30 and then 60 at night.
And I know an apology doesn't mean much to somebody that's lost their job, but I do apologize that the substandard service caused you to lose your job. That's not right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tyrese.
Thank you. I hope you guys have a blessed day.
Just one quick thing for Tyrese. I like
Yes.
Mr. Taylor say, there's you know, you lost your job and you know, apologizing now wouldn't do any good. But have you ever considered getting a job with DDOT?
I actually did, but I know I would have to wait till I got my license. I was doing a cage cashier position there. That was working on like financing and everything. I was working on that so then I could pay for a car to actually get my license and everything.
You doesn't have a license at all, or he doesn't have a CDL?
No, I don't have my license at all.
Okay.
I'm 24 years old.
Okay. Well, as soon as you get that license, give us a call.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good recruitment, Mr. Stewart.
Harriet Smith, you're the next hand up.
Hi, thank you. I'm calling about the fact that I live in the Eastern Market area, so we take the Russell bus. It's very convenient. We just step outside and it's right there on Leland and Russell. But the Russell bus doesn't have Saturday and Sunday service. So all the activities that happen at Spirit Plaza or Beacon Park or any of those are not available to those of us who rely on the bus system. And I was wondering, with the new jail almost built there, is the Russell bus now going to go on Saturdays and Sundays for people taking the bus to go to the jail facility?
Mr. Patrick, Mr. Patrick,
right now, we don't have any plans to do that. Are you reasonably close to another route like Warren or Gratiot?
No, not at all. We live in a senior citizen facility, Friendship Meadows, right there on Leland and Russell. And we can literally walk out of the parking lot and get on the bus. And some of us are in wheelchairs. The next closest bus is the Mack Avenue bus. So, and that's sort of not convenient a line as the Russell. The Russell will take us right through Eastern Market on Saturdays and Sundays, and that would be wonderful. And then the Russell bus takes us right down to the Spirit Plaza area, but not on Saturdays and Sundays. And it would be real convenient for people who are making visits to the jail, because it's going to pass right by the jail on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, for a while there was like a special bus, they called it the Green Market or something like that ran served Eastern Market on weekends, and it didn't do very well at all. And in fact, the Russell route is one of the routes that's that's not in the DDOT reimagined plan. So
Oh, no.
but the DDOT reimagined plan takes the Shane route and pulls it over to where where the new jail is over there, the new juvenile facility. So that might go where you are.
Okay, I'm sorry. The Shane bus comes nowhere near where we are.
No, it's just the route.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, in the DDOT reimagined plan, the Shane route is used to serve that area where the new juvenile facility is over there, and it becomes more frequent, and that's a 7-day route.
Okay, so the Shane bus, which now operates in that area, Shane Lafayette area, will come all the way over here to the new jail that's being built.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Can
I'll have to think that through because that's convoluted to me when you've got a bus that goes right by there every day.
Yeah, and the Russell bus is not, it's not popular enough to get more frequent service and weekend service. I believe it used to run on weekends, but the ridership was very low. So the Shane bus, if you look at the DDOT reimagined plan, I encourage you to do that when we go out for the final network, and you'll see that the Shane route is stretched out over there to serve that area. And,
I see. I think it's just my personal opinion. I'm not a professional. I see where ridership will increase maybe exponentially if it was, marketed. Oh, we're going to run it on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to go right past the church on DeQuinder and 6 Mile on Sunday. It's going to go right past the jail on Saturday and Sunday, and it's going to go down the Spirit Plaza on Saturday and Sunday, and ridership will increase. But I could be wrong.
Can I ask if you've explored the option of the complimentary paratransit service?
No, I have not.
Miss Roby, can we see if we can get some information? Some way to contact her and see if paratransit might be an option?
Yes.
I can put that in the chat.
Okay, I didn't want to, pressure you to reveal information you were
Oh,
uncomfortable with, but
no, that's fine. I can put that in the chat. I appreciate you listening. And I'll look into the Shane route.
Yeah, my ears perked up when you said that it was a senior center and there was also people using mobility devices. So that's why paratransit came to mind immediately.
Okay.
we do have clients at Friendship Meadow. So yes, I'm familiar with I think it's
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do, because it's a lot of those buses that come in and out of here. So I thank you for that. I really do. I personally am not going to look into it for myself. I'm just going to be an advocate of the doggone Russell bus running on Saturdays and Sundays so I can get to the activities I want to go to on the weekend.
Fair enough.
Without wondering how the Shane bus comes into it.
Steve, can you go over that again real quickly on what Shane's going to do as a replacement or a augment for the Russell bus?
I don't have the whole route in my head, but I know the Shane route would be brought over to Russell Street in that area right there by the new juvenile facility over there north of near Warren over there, and coming to where the new juvenile facility.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I'm nowhere near Warren, but that does make a lot of sense. It's on me. I need to look at the DDOT Reimagine thing and stay with that and become knowledgeable.
Oh, we'd love for you to participate. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll look at the DDOT Reimagine, and thank you for that information.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next hand up is along T10M. I presume that's a phone. T10M.
Yes. Good evening.
We can hear you.
Yep, go ahead.
Yes, my name is Gregory Groves, and I'm calling about the Warren 8. I had made a complaint about a bus stop to be moved because it was on the hill right at Warren and Outer Drive, because this is a lot of seniors that catch the bus and it's dangerous. Now, DDOT did move it, so I appreciate that. My other comment is they was talking about shortening the route from going to Telegraph and shortening it in January to Pearson. And it's a senior citizen building, Dearborn Heights, Detroit Dearborn Heights border. And the senior citizen building is right on Outer Drive. And like my girlfriend, she uses a walker to get on the bus right there. And I'm wondering, is they still gonna do that, or they gonna keep it as is? Because it's a lot of seniors. That's a long way from West Outer Drive and Warren to go to Pearson to catch a bus on a walker or this handy on the cane or whatever. That's a long way, and I want to know what they're gonna do about it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We have taken your comment on that, and we've passed it on to our consultants who are working on DDOT Reimagined. And all this is, all the comments are going to be taken into consideration when we do the final network. So
Okay.
to be involved with that.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for moving the bus stop. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we had to move it to where the concrete pad was built.
Yes. Thank you.
City just did just that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, great. And the next hand up is Damone.
Yes, can everyone hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, to my understanding, there's a system that's in place to alert drivers as to when they're on time. Can everyone ensure that the drivers have the training needed to use that system to ensure that they're on time according to schedule based on the system that's already installed on their buses? And secondly, there's an issue about retaining drivers. So my question is, with the current contract that's in place, can city officials and union representatives that represent the drivers come back to the table in good faith and renegotiate the pay scale to increase the pay and also the amount of time it takes to reach top pay? Just renegotiate that part of the contract and increase drivers' pay. I think that will attract and retain more drivers.
Just to give you an update on where we are with the union, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail for obvious reasons, but we did have a conversation with them last Friday. And as they've stated to us before, even though there's an offer that's been promulgated by the mayor that's on the table for a $3 across the board increase, which would take the starting wage up from $16.15 to $19.15 and the top wage from $22.61 to $25.61, with a progression that's more aggressive than that, which is at SMART. So it takes you 4 years to get to the top rate at DDOT. It takes you over 6 years to get to the top rate at SMART, and an additional $500 per quarter on the incentive bonus. So right now, bus operators, TEOs can collect $1,000 every quarter for perfect attendance, and it's actually near perfect attendance. And we've had, I think in the last quarter, approximately 65% of the of the TEOs were able to qualify for that attendance bonus. As part of that offer that's on the table is an additional $500 per quarter for anybody that qualifies for that attendance bonus. So you take the $3 an hour across the board on the base wage rate, and you take up to $1,500 per year. I'm sorry, $1,500 per quarter. And you're talking about the offer that's currently on the table that, again, the union said that they're not interested in speaking to unless and until they know where the SMART negotiations are. That's $12,000 a year.
Okay. And can we also ensure that driver, because there, like I said, there's a system in place that will let a driver know if he's on time according to schedule. Can there be an assurance given that all drivers will be trained on how to use that system to arrive on time according to schedule?
Yeah, can anybody speak to that? How drivers are trained in regard to maintaining the schedule and the technology?
I can say that the driver that you think is late, if it's an hour late, that doesn't mean that he's late. It probably means there's a bus missing in the schedule. Now all the time we have detours. We also have accidents. Right today there was a huge one at 8 Mile and Woodward, which ties up a whole bunch of routes. So if the bus is late, it doesn't mean that the driver's lazy. It doesn't mean the driver's driving too slow. It usually means that either the driver might be on time. He's a bus later in the schedule, and the bus that you intended to catch might be missing because it doesn't have a driver at all. And then if someone from operations could speak to as far as drivers being trained to stay on time.
Yeah, I don't know if Miss Stewart's on the call or if Mr. Holmes. I know Mr. Holmes is about as new as I am to the system, but I don't know if there's anybody that can answer the question directly about driver training and schedule adherence.
Yes, I mean, all drivers are trained with schedule adherence and how to operate the system. The system give them a warning when they are early, and when the system give them a warning, we even have control center. If the operator is running ahead of schedule, we have control center call the operator and let him know. Right there, even if they're running late, they want to know why they're running late because it might be a reason. So they do get the training, and they have either backup plan from the control center to call them and let them know they are early to slow down, and if they're late, they want to know the reason why they're late.
Thank you very much, because I believe that would improve the efficiency of the service.
And just to let you know, one of the things that we've done, recognizing as we do that we have the driver shortages, we have a working group called the Service Reliability Committee. They've been in place for the last couple of months. And some of the things they're looking at are, can we do things differently or better from pull out to pull in? That, again, even though we have the driver shortage, are we doing everything within our control as it relates to service on the street to make sure that with the resources we do have out there, that we're trying to run as reliably as possible.
Well, can there be an assurance given that supervisors will be out on the streets to ensure that at the end routes, drivers do pull out on time?
Mr. Stewart, you want to speak to that?
Yes, all supervisors are also trained to make sure they go to the end of the route, make sure those operators leave out on time. But it comes when the supervisor might want the operator to hold back because the bus is missing in front of them, or the bus behind them is missing. So it's a lot of reasons why sometimes they're not leaving the end of the line on time. But if it's nothing out there abnormal, we have supervisors going out to make sure they leave on time, because that's one of the things that really affect our on-time performance.
Yes.
Make sure operators leave on time.
Yes. And my last question is, because I mentioned about 7 Mile and Greenfield, there's no
Sir,
bus shelter.
in the interest of time, since we had stopped the clock ticking once you had stopped as far as remaining, but your time in order, since we had 6:29, I think there was one hand raised. I wanted to give that person an opportunity to speak before we close, but you can definitely, we still want to hear your comments, so please just put it in the chat, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the last hand up is Colin, user 1.
You hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening. I really appreciate Miguel Oglesby and his work that he did. I'd like to know, why has there been no running water at the transit center? Cold. When it comes to the restrooms, and why are you having your transit police to tell people that are disabled that they can't take their medical supplies? In the restrooms, they're not keeping the grounds properly washed. It's full of bird feces and it's not being cleaned. Also, I'd like to know, why is it garbage not being picked up at the bus stops up and down West Grand Boulevard, coming from the Fisher Building, cutting off at Grand River and West Grand, where it's all over the grounds, and this is on a weekly basis. The Dexter bus, you have to wait 3 and 4 hours. There's no sign up on Jefferson letting people know that on Saturdays and Sundays, the Dexter does not pick up there, and it's getting cold out. So you will be standing hours and not aware. I'd also like to know, will they ever bring back the number 80 and 89 bus? And finally, I want to know why you all are not able to extend into other cities with paratransit, such as Dearborn going towards Michigan and Otter Drive, Redford, Ferndale, Royal Oak. I hope that that will increase. $3 an hour for pay is an insult and is a joke. You should have drivers already at $30 an hour. That's why you're not going to keep anybody.
I'll comment on one of the last ones first, which is the paratransit system. The Americans with Disabilities Act defines what the service area is for any complimentary paratransit system. And so essentially it's 3/4 of a mile on each side of a fixed route bus stop, with 3/4 of a mile extended beyond the starting point and the ending point of the fixed route bus. So the service area for paratransit is defined by where the DDOT fixed route service operates. I don't know if Mr. Square's on the call to talk about water at Rosa Parks, but I do know Mr. Holmes can speak to the security guard issue. Mr. Holmes on the call? Okay. Let me just make...
I'm not sure. I'm not sure this Deputy Chief Hart. I apologize. I would like clarification. She had said, because none of the officers are ever supposed to stop people with medical supplies. What medical supplies was she talking about, so I can make sure that's addressed?
So when you have diabetic supplies, or you may have a colostomy, or for women may need to bring in their personal tampons, maxi pads, those are medical as well. You have some of your security guards that are telling people they cannot bring in their bag that may have their personal supplies, their purse. And when you ask, where is the statute that allows this, you're not getting an answer, but they put notes up, you cannot bring this. So they just started patting down those that are in a wheelchair, walker, or scooter. This is not legal under Americans with Disabilities. Mr. Oglesby knows about this, and this needs
Mr.
to
Hart, do you
stop.
have enough to go on by now? I think it was.
She's just trying to brush me off and not getting my question
ma'am,
answered without an attitude.
We had given you the time, and because he asked a follow-up question, so I think that was addressed, and we are running past the time. So I just wanted to give him an opportunity to respond to you.
Yes, you're exactly right with the American Disability, and all my officers are trained. I don't know of a security guard doing that either. And I want to make sure we were clear that they knew they were medical supplies going in. So I will address that with both my officers and Mr. Holm for his staff.
Yeah. And just one more follow-up to that, since Mr. Holmes isn't on the call, is I know that we received an official inquiry from, I believe it was Council President Sheffield, about this issue. So we've recently changed out security companies. Mr. Holmes is new as the Chief Safety Officer at DDOT, and he made a point of speaking with the company that security guards work for, about patting down anybody at Rosa Parks, and made that perfectly clear, that is not a practice that will be tolerated. And I think the issue about baggage had to do with oversized bags, but Deputy Hart's absolutely correct. We'll do the follow-up with, he'll do the follow-up with Transit Police, and he'll also be talking to Mr. Holmes about the private security guards at Rosa Parks as well. Thank you, Deputy Chief.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Staley. We are on that time, actually past that time. You want to close us out for tonight, please?
Yes, ma'am. Again, I would just thank everybody for their participation tonight. As Mr. Oglesby said at the top, that input is critical. If we're going to make the system better, we need to know when we're meeting your expectations, but even more importantly, we need to know when we're not meeting your expectations. As it relates to the tenure of Mikhail Oglesby, I will end with this. He navigated DDOT through a very difficult time during the pandemic. A lot of agencies had a lot of difficulties. It was not an easy time, particularly for bus operators who were deemed as part of the essential service. Mr. Oglesby also had the vision to not only help give birth to, but bring along major capital projects, including State Fair, the restoration of Coolidge, bus shelters, fare boxes, onboard cameras. That's no small accomplishment. And then finally, and on a personal note, Mr. Oglesby was instrumental in helping to improve the complimentary paratransit service, which is now running above the standard of 95%. And I appreciate the opportunity he provided me with personally to become part of the DDOT organization. So thank you to Mikhail Oglesby. That's all I have.
Thank you all. Have a great night.
Thanks.